90% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in they Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move. Whatever click you choose, you better
say what's cracking, YouTube. It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down. And for those of y'all new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. During those times, I accumulated some good stories and insight on prison. I'm going to share some with y'all today. If you happen to like the story, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Yeah, that's me rapping on the intro. The flow is nothing like Curtis Blow. If you want to hear more of my music, go to my YouTube playlist, scroll down to gas stations, and you will find more of my music there. And with that being said, let's hop right up into this story right here. This story right here happened to capture my interest because it talks about a dude who was sentenced to 129 years to life, get his case overturned. Part of why he was sentenced because of rap lyrics. Now, when I ended up going to jail, when I went to trial, the prosecutor also used some of my rap lyrics against me. And so that's why I find it interesting. The man that I'm talking about was sentenced to 129 years to life for actually appearing in a rap video that was done by his brother. So let's talk a little bit about the circumstances that got his case overturned. After unanimous approval in the Senate and Assembly, the California bill that aims to restrict the use of rap lyrics as evidence by prosecutors in criminal cases was signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom on Friday. California is the first state to ensure creative content like lyrics and music videos can't be used against artists in court without judicial review. The law will require judges to press prosecutors on the purpose behind including lyrics as evidence and interrogate whether doing so injects racial bias into the proceedings. Artists of all kinds should be able to create without the fear of unfair and prejudicial prosecution, Governor Newsom said in a statement. California's culture and entertainment industry set trends around the world, and it's fitting that our state is taking a nation-leading role to protect creative expression and ensure that artists are not criminalized under biased policies. Now, as I mentioned earlier in my situation, when my house was raided and I was arrested, the police recovered several of my notebooks that I had wrote music in and eventually used some of those lyrics against me in court. You know, I think some of that is the territory of when you rapping, when you young and you dumb and you live in that street life. This is some of the lyrics that was used against me. Keep in mind, these lyrics are kind of whack, and they are from 1992, 91, somewhere around there. It says, "E chill is my name. I'm serving rhymes like cocaine." It skips a couple lines. They had a big problem with reading my writing, and my writing was extremely messy. But it says, "I had to get off on the fool because he tripped like a bitch. And just like the hoe he was, he took the stand and he snitched. So I'ma tap you on your shoulder, break you off a boulder, leave you laying dead on the curb waiting for the rollers to swoop your ass up because you just got buck. Because that motherfucker chill ain't giving a fuck." And they introduced a lot of other lyrics. And of course, I went on to be convicted. Now, in my opinion, do I believe I would have been convicted without the use of those rap lyrics? Yes, I definitely do. But still in all, this law prevents now things like that from happening unless there is a judicial review. Now, to give you a little bit more insight on the case about Trevon Rashad Venable, the state appellate court has reversed the conviction of Trevon Rashad Venable, who was found guilty in 2014 in a drive-by shooting. He was the alleged getaway driver in the incident that left a 20-year-old man killed and another wounded. Venable was sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison until prosecutors found the evidence used to prove his guilt was no longer valid. Some of the evidence which was actually used to convict him was his appearance in a video that was made by his younger brother, who goes by the name of Young Troc. The video that's playing is the actual video that in part was used by the prosecutor to convict him due to his appearance alone in that video. The appellant justices, however, concurred that nothing in the song indicated the rapper or others in the video had personal knowledge or involvement in the shooting, only that they had heard about it. Still, the prosecution placed a lot of emphasis on the video, playing it twice for the jury during the trial and a third time during closing arguments, according to the opinion. A main part of the reason why he was convicted was rap lyrics in a song by his brother. All he actually did was appear in the video. According to the courts, though, bullets fired from a small white car killed one victim and wounded another. Both victims were members or associates of the West Side Project gang. That's a gang in San Bernardino. Months later, when the police arrested a known informant for an unrelated offense, he offered to give them information about the shooting. He told the police and eventually testified defendant and the appellant, Trevon Rayshad Venable Sr., drove the car used in the shooting, and Elgin Johnson was the shooter. Both Venable and Johnson were members of the California Garden Crips, another gang in San Bernardino, and a rival of the projects. A jury found Venable guilty of first-degree murder, unlabeled statutory citations, and referred to this code, attempted murder 187. The jury also found true on each count of gang enhancement and a gang-related firearm enhancement. After the defendant waived a jury trial, the judge found Venable had one prior serious felony conviction and one strike prior. The judge sentenced Venable to a total of 129 years to life. On appeal, Venable argued, among other things, that the trial judge violated his speedy rights to trial by repeatedly continuing the trial to accommodate counsel for his then co-defendant Johnson. The trial judge erred by admitting a rap video in which Venable appeared. The surviving victim, Keon Kiki Drake, testified at trial. Drake admitted he sometimes hung out with members of the projects. On March 5th, 2014, around 12:15, Drake and his friend Enon Bubba Edwards were at the intersection of Medical Center Drive and Union Street in San Bernardino. As they were crossing the street, someone in a small, older white car going north on Medical Center started shooting at them and took off running. A bullet hit Drake in the back and came out through his chest. After he rounded a building, he looked back and saw Edwards lying on the ground. Drake suffered a collapsed lung, and Edwards died from a single gunshot wound to the back of the head. Drake told the police the car slowed down as it approached, and the passenger was leaning out the rear driver's side window. Both the driver and the passenger had handguns and started shooting. They both were black males in their mid-20s, he testified. However, he testified that he did not see the shooter. A bystander named Burley heard the shots. He saw a small, older white car, possibly a Honda, going by. A young black male was hanging out of the rear driver's side window, aiming a .22 rifle. Burley did not get a good look at his face and could not see the driver at all. The police also obtained surveillance videos from some of the nearby businesses. These showed a small white car going south on Medical Center, then going north on Medical Center. As it passed the victims, it slowed down. A male was leaning out the rear driver's side window. A shadowy thing, which could have been the barrel of a rifle, was sticking out the driver's side window. The informant's first statement to the police was this here. Nearly 3 months after the shooting, on May 25, 2014, two officers, Sims and Plummer, conducted a traffic stop of a person referred to at trial as John Doe. Officer Plummer had previously used Doe as a paid informant. The officer searched Doe's car and found a gun. Doe then indicated he had information about the shooting. The officers therefore took Doe to the station, where he was interviewed by lead investigator Detective William Flesher. Doe said that he was at the intersection and saw the shooting. An older white Kia Sophia that was going south on Medical Center turned and awaited in a parking lot, and as the victims were crossing the street, the car drove north. Slowly, it stopped in the middle of the street and just started shooting. Doe heard the shots, looked and saw more shots fired. He saw Drake run around the thing and fall. Edwards turned around but was hit in the head. The surveillance videos, however, did not show Doe at the intersection where he claimed to have been. After the shooting, Doe communicated with Johnson on Facebook. He said Johnson bragged, "Yeah, I shot him, so what?" Johnson soon deactivated his Facebook account. Later, Doe asked Johnson why he did it, and Johnson replied he was putting in work for California Gardens. Police obtained Johnson's Facebook records but found nothing bragging about the shooting. A photo of Johnson from his Facebook page showed him with a magazine that could be used in a rifle. On June 3rd, 2015, Detective Fletcher interviewed Doe, who said his first statement had been truthful, except about the proximity. He said he was actually located a block north of the intersection when he heard the shots. Afterwards, though, the car drove right by him. He had no doubt that he saw Venable and Johnson. So eventually, what happened was an appeal was filed on behalf of Venable, citing this new law that prevents prosecutors from using rap lyrics to get convictions, because the conviction was highly based on lyrics in the rap song, not rapped by Venable, but rapped by his brother. In all actuality, what his brother was rapping was somewhere along the lines of, "I got word from a bird that they slid down medical center and did that brother dead wrong." Something about shooting and leaving his head gone. So even his brother was not confessing to a crime. His brother was saying that he had heard from somebody, and that was part of the reason that the judge overturned the case, citing that there was no evidence to show that anybody in that rap video had anything to do with the actual crime. Also, the only evidence they really had on Venable outside of the lyrics that was used against him was this paid informant who got pulled over, was subsequently found with a gun, and now he wants to talk about this case that about a murder that he witnessed. But before he got caught with the gun, he had nothing to say about the murder. That's one thing I think that's extremely unfair with the legal system in the United States, that the prosecutor has the authority to let a person not go to jail when he's caught up in a crime in exchange for testimony. So, of course, let's think about it. If you have a person that's willing to snitch and break the street code, he's also willing to lie to prevent himself from going to jail. He admitted several times that his testimony or statements that he had gave prior to the police wasn't true. He wasn't where he claimed to be. So, of course, a person that's trying not to go to jail is going to say anything. So, like I say, I believe subsequently, the dude who was sentenced to 129 years to life will come back down and eventually be set free. You know, there's really no evidence to win a conviction. But anyway, you know, this just goes to show for you youngsters out there and that's in the street, people out there in gangs, period. The further you distance yourself from gangs, the more you decrease the likelihood of something like this from happening on any side of the coin, you know. But anyway, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal. Oh, one last thing too. Everything that I spoke about and mentioned or read from on this here particular video is public information and can be found on FindLawCaseLaw.com. So what I was reading from was basically transcripts in the court proceedings that was filed on behalf of Venable. Anytime you get convicted and you choose to file an appeal, at some point in time when it goes through the courts, it becomes public information and anybody can read and see what happened in the trials. For those people who like to say, oh, you know, well, this guy is on here talking about things he shouldn't be. This is already public information. Everything that I discuss can easily be found online by any and everybody who chooses to look it up. But anyway, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.
The crackers let me out the gate, now the pressure's on. We about to get this shit straight like a pressing cone. The wrong cat to get aggressive on. I bring the bitch up out of niggas while you think they got them dresses on. My reach long and that's the best type. To have some dirty white boys come and smoke you like a meth pipe. And leave your chest bright red like a fire truck. Kicking your mom's door at night, nigga, and tie her up. I'm wild as fuck and I'm respected by the new youth. I put this pistol in their ear like a Bluetooth. I blow their brains on their new coupe. And have red everywhere just like a function full of soup whoops. Tell your troops I deal with beef like a butcher. My 4-5 pump more guys than Ashton Kutcher. Line pusher, quick to bury your clown. Nigga, I stayed in the park like the merry-go-round. Get it?
The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. Oh, you niggas don't know my name. That game greasy, bitch, that game need me. I'm out here doing my thing. That game greasy, bitch, that game need me. I swerve in my own lane. That game greasy, bitch, that game need me.